Hello guys, welcome back to my tutorials. Today we will start chapter 5, generally network infrastructures. When we revised the previous chapters, chapter 4, generally network protocols and services, we discuss about in chapter 4 or the previous chapters, generally network protocols and services. So that if new for these chapters or tutorials, please watch the previous chapters or video, then come back to these tutorials because all chapters are available on my YouTube channels. Thank you for joining with me. Okay, today we will continue with network infrastructure. Generally, we will discuss about all network infrastructures in which directly related to cybersecurity. Okay, network communication devices. In order to communicate different devices each other, they need this in devices or intermediate devices. So that first of all, the devices are one of network infrastructure. So that we will discuss and highlight on network devices. Okay, network devices. Among network devices, we can classify into two. The first one, indie devices. What are indie devices? Indie device may be a computer, laptop, a server, maybe printer or smart devices, and another mobile devices. Those devices found on customer or uh, user indies, so that they are called indie devices. For example, individual indie devices are connected to network by intermediate devices, so that those indie devices use intermediate devices to connect networks. The second one, intermediate devices. Those intermediate devices are connect individual indie devices to the network. As very said, connect multiple individual networks to form an inter-networks. Provide connectivity and ensure that data flow access the networks. As you see on this slide, uh, maybe the end devices can be computers, laptop, server, printer, etc. So that in order to connect those devices each other, maybe those devices used intermediate devices such as LAN switches, routers, firewalls, multiplayer switches, wireless routers. So that those in devices can be used intermediate devices to connect networks. Okay, let us go next slides. Okay, routing information. When you discuss about routing information, always stored on network routers, it is a routing table of routers store the following information. So that the routing tables of routers store the following information. Maybe directly connected routers or remote routers. So that there are different two directly connected routers or remote routers. The destination network entire in routing table can be added in several ways. Maybe local route interfaces. Uh, these are added when the interface configured and active to that local router interface. The second one, directly connected interface. That maybe directly connected interfaces. These are added to the routing table when interface configured and active. The third one, static routes. These are added when route is manually configured, the exit interface is active. So that the static routes only manually configured. The last one and the latest and important, or they requires a routing protocol, dynamic routing protocol. This is added when routing protocol that is dynamically learn about the networks. So that it is routing protocol such as EIGRP or OSPF, which are routing tables, are implemented and networks are identified. As you see on this slide, let us discuss network devices, hubs, bridges, and LAN switches. For example, what does it hub? Ethernet hub. Always Ethernet hub used as a multi-port repeater. Sometimes people call it multi-port repeaters. Generally, it is broadcast the signal into the computer broadcast that receive incoming electrical signal data on ports. It is then immediately forward regenerated signal out all other ports. That means broadcast. Hub use physical layer processing to forward data, so that hubs operate at a physical layer. Okay, the second one, bridge. What does mean bridge? Bridge have a different interface and are connected between hubs to divide the network into multiple collision domains. So that's the primary objective of bridge is to divide or to span or to separate the network into multiple collision domains. No single collision domain, multiple collision domain. Each collision domains have only one sender at a time. Okay. The third one is switches. What does mean LAN switches? LAN switches are essentially multi-port bridges. Unlike from Ethernet multi-port repeaters, switch in multi-port bridges that connect the device into star topology. Like bridges, a switch segment LAN into separate collision domains. Like bridges, a switch also segments the LAN into separate collision domains. One for each which supports which makes forwarding decision based on Ethernet MAC addresses. So that switches always intelligence parts, but the hub is not intelligence. Okay, network device switching operation. This is explain these diagrams about the switch operations. By the way, a switch operating about for the explanation purposes, the shorten arrays are for demonstration purposes. MAC addresses are shortened for demonstration purposes, so that okay, network handle VLAN. What is VLAN? Meaning that stands for virtual LANs, local area networks, virtual local area networks, or abbreviated as VLANs. VLANs segment network based on multiple factors, maybe function, project teams, or application, or department, regardless of physical location. So that within one local area networks, we can classify into subdivision of local area networks in an organization. For example, based on the department, based on the functions, based on the project teams, regardless of physical locations. Okay, create a logical broadcast domain that can span multiple physical layer segments, so that it is used to create logical broadcast domains in order to span multiple physical LAN segments. Improve why we use VLANs. Improve network performance by separating a large broadcast domain into smaller ones. So prevent user on different VLAN from spoofing on each other traffic, so that this is best for increase the performance of your networks using VLAN. Okay, HTTP spanning tree protocols, ensuring a single logical path between all destination or network by blocking redundant paths. Prevent loop using strategically placed blocking state ports. Use bridge protocol data units frame to prevent loop. So that these protocols used to ensure a single logical path or destination on network by blocking redundant paths. In order to avoid or block redundant network paths, spanning tree protocol is very important. Protocol and features: wireless LAN or VLAN, WLANs. It uses a radio frequency where RF instead of cables at physical layers in MAC address sublayer of data link layer. So that is WLANs always use a radio frequency. For example, when using Wi-Fi on your computer or mobile devices, it uses radio frequency. It's not using a cable, so that the protocols are WLANs. Connect LAN to network through wireless access points, so that your mobile devices, when connecting with Wi-Fi, using access points or wireless routers instead of Ethernet switches, so that when using Wi-Fi or wireless, you cannot use Ethernet switches. It is wireless access points. Okay, wireless network operation. Wireless client associate process with a response, including discovering a new wireless access point, authentication with that access point, then associating with that IP. The common configurable wireless parameter include maybe network modes, SSID, channel settings, security mode, encryption, password. Those parameters can be configured with wireless networks. Okay, wireless device must discover and connect to access points or wireless routers. This process can be passive or active. Okay, wireless 202.11 standard was originally developed with two authentication mechanisms. Open authentication provides wireless connectivity to any wireless devices, and the shared key authentication technique is based on key that is pre-shared between client and API. Point. Okay, Network security infrastructures. Now let us see security infrastructure. What does infrastructure? Infrastructure meaning is the equipment or another hardware or software that used to support for local area network or network operations. Maybe server, data center, firewall, etc. Proxy server, etc. Those are network infrastructures. Fiber optics, etc. Okay, what does firewall? As you know, generally firewalls can be found in terms of two. It founds in software and hardware. For example, if you are using your operating system, there is a firewall built in operating system in terms of software, so that you can turn on or turn off. So that now let me discussing about hardware parts. This is I am not discussing about software firewalls. I am discussing about hardwares in network infrastructure context. So that some firewall properties. What is the use of firewalls? Let me define the definition of firewalls. um, that control or filter network traffic that is inbound and outbound, meaning that outbound into local area network into wide area network, or inbound from wide area network into local area network. Firewall resistance to network attacks. In order to resist network attacks, you have to use firewalls. All traffic flows through the firewalls because all network traffic is through pass firewalls. Firewall enforce access control policy. In order to apply access control policy, you have to use firewalls. Using firewall in networks, what are the advantages? Prevent exposure of sensitive hosts, resources, applications to untrusted users. Sanitize protocol flows. In order to sanitize the protocol flows, you have to use firewalls. Block malicious data from server and clients. Reduce security management complexity. So that those internal reasons you have to use firewalls in your networks. Firewall also prevents some limitations. The limitation of firewalls: misconfigured firewall can have serious consequences for networks. The data from many applications cannot be passed over firewall security. Users search for a way around firewall to receive blocked material. Network performance can slow down. Unauthorized traffic can be turned as legitimate traffic through firewall. So that misconfiguration of firewalls can have a great limitation on your networks. Maybe it has a risk. So that when you configure your firewalls, you have to carefully correctly configure. Must be configured. Firewall description. Packet filtering or stateless firewall is usually part of router firewalls, which permit or deny traffic based on layer 3 and layer 4 information. So that firewalls working on the information from layer 3 and layer 4, meaning that layer 3 network layers, layer 4 transport layers. So that firewalls use the layer 3 and layer 4 information. Okay, stateful firewalls allow or block traffic based on status, port, or protocols. Monitor all activity from opening connection until it's closed. Third one, application gateway firewalls, proxy firewall. Filter information at layer 3, layer 4, layer 5, and layer 7 OSI reference model. Host-based server and personal firewall. PC or server which firewall software running on it. Transparent firewalls. Filter IP traffic between pair-privileged interfaces. Hybrid firewalls. Combination of the various firewalls. So that those are a type of firewalls. The first one, packet filtering. Second one, stateful firewall. The third one, application gateway firewall. The fourth one, host-based firewall. The fifth one, transparent firewall. The last one, hybrid firewalls. So that you have to read more about those type of firewalls. Okay, intrusion prevention and detection systems. Let us see the similarity between and common characteristics of IDS and IPS. The similarities both used the technology to prevent network attack, so that they maybe use different type of technology in order to defense your networks from attack. So that the similarity between network prevention and detection systems is to using technology. Okay, type of IPS or intrusion prevention systems. Maybe it is host-based IPS and network-based IPS. For example, host-based IPS software installed on a single host to another and analyze suspicious activity. So that it is analyze the suspicious activity on your networks, maybe monitor, protect operating system, critical system processes that are specific to the hosts, combine antivirus and anti-malware softwares. The next one, network-based IPSs implement using dedicated IPS devices are critical component of intrusion prevention. Sensor detect malicious and unauthorized activity in real time, can take action when required. So that the type of IPSs can be classified into two. Traffic control with access lists. What does mean access lists? Access control list or ACL is a series of commands that control whether a device to add or drop packets based on information found in packet headers. Maybe limit network traffic to increase network performance, provide traffic flow control, provide basic level of security for network access, and another more. Okay. Simple network management protocol. Simple network management protocol allow administrators to manage a device such as servers, workstations, routers, switches, and security appliances. The simple network management protocol system consists of three elements. The first element is manager that run in SNMP management software. Second one, agent, which are nodes being monitored and managed. The third one, management information bases or MIB, that is a database on agent that store data on operational databases. Okay, the next one, NetFlow. Cisco iOS technology that provides statics on packet flowing through Cisco router or multi-layer switches. The ability to collect IP network traffic as it enter or exit in interfaces. It provides data to enable network and security monitoring on your networks. Okay, port mirroring. In security services, features that allow a switch to make duplicate copies of traffic passing through switches, then send data out to a port with a network monitor attached called port mirroring. The original traffic is forwarded in unusual manner, so that it is a port mirroring is a feature that switches duplicate is the message that passing through it. System syslog server. The most common method of accessing system messages called syslogs. Syslog servers allow network device to send their system message across network to syslog. Syslog service provides three primary functions. Gather logging information for monitoring and troubleshooting. Select type of logging information that is captured. Specify the destination of captured syslog messages. So that this is the most common method of accessing system messages. Okay, NTP. This allows router or network to synchronize their time setting with NTP server using strata levels. NTP can be set up to synchronize a private master clock. It can synchronize to publicly available NTP server on internet. NTP servers are managed in levels known as strata. Strata 0, Strata 1, Strata 2, and loud. Strata 0, high precision timekeeping device assumed to be accurate with little or no delay. Stratum 1, connected to alternative time sources, they act as primary network time and standard. Stratum 2 and lower, connected to Stratum 1 device through network connection. Stratum 2 devices synchronize their time using NTP package from Stratum 1 services. They could also act as server Stratum 3 devices. Okay, VPN. I know, I think you know the definition of VPN, meaning that the virtual private network is private network that is created over public networks to be secure. VPN is private in that traffic is encrypted to keep data confidential while it is transparent across public networks. IP service allow authentication, integrity, access control, and confidentiality. In order to make high confidentiality, integrity access control is very important using VPN. Network representation. How can represent networks? Okay, next we will discuss about network representation. This is a physical and logical topology. Physical topology refers to the physical connection and identify how to in-device and infrastructure devices are interconnected. So that the physical topology refers to the physical infrastructure within your networks. As you on this slide, this is example of physical topology of your networks. Okay, technology. We will see one technology, wide area network technologies. The first one, point-to-point, consists of a permanent link between two endpoints. There are two endpoints or end devices. There is a between permanent links between two end devices. The second one, hub and spoke. One version of a start topology in which central site interconnect the branch site using point-to-point links. The third one, mesh. This mesh provide higher availability but require that very end system interconnect to every other systems. But it is high network performances, especially in data center area. But it is a costly. Every device is connected with n-1 devices. n-1 devices. In order to count the needed cables, you have to calculate n into n-1 over 2. In order to calculate the number of cable needed in mesh, you have to use this formula, n into n-1 over 2. Okay. LAN topology classified into four: star, extended star, bus, ring. As you see on this diagram, star meaning each device connected in central devices. Extended star is also the multiple division of stars, but only in the systems attached to each other, terminated in some form and with backbones. The ring is any system connected to the respective neighbors, forming a ring. Unlike bus topology, the ring does not need to be terminated. So that's the four local area network topologies look like on this slides. You have to refer more in order to understand the network wide area local area network topologies. Three-layer network design models. Three-layer architecture models maybe the access layers, distribution layers, core layers. When we say access layers, provide endpoint and user direct access to the network. User traffic is initiated on these layers. This is the user sides of your network. The distribution layer is a middle layer. This aggregate access layers provide connectivity to services as used as a middle layers. Third one, core layers. Common security architectures. Of one or more interfaces that have similar function or features. Thank you very much for today's. Until next time is within the next chapters. If new for my YouTube channels, please subscribe and like. If you have any questions, please post on your comment area. Thank you very much for today's. Bye. Wait for the next times with the next chapter. Bye.